Welcome to the merry month of May, Hedgerow Self-Care. Today we walk with the forget-me-not, that beautiful blue simple flower that you see tucked away in the hedgerows. If you've looked at some of my videos, you may have seen the forget-me-not is tucked away behind some of the leaves. There are some violets there as well. They're ever present in the hedges at the moment, which is why walking the hedges in May is such a wonderful time, because there's so many flowers and plants available for us to see. So I found a short, sad tale. I thought it was sad, but they said it was romantic, about the forget-me-not. So there was this knight who was walking with his beloved along the banks of a Danube, and in the centre of the river she sees this beautiful blue flower floating, and cries out that this flower should not be left to float away with the river. So he jumps in to rescue the flowers. And you may have heard this story. Sadly, he gets caught in the flow of a river, but he does manage to throw the flowers onto the bank to his beloved, and he shouts to her, "Forget-me-not," which is how the flower ended up with the name Forget-me-not. Sadly, he was no more, because the river did take him away. So romantic. There is the romance of the idea that he would dive into the river at her behest. But I think I'd rather have kept the knight than have the flowers, personally. But what this does for us when we think about how do forget-me-nots help us with self-care is about memories. So what memories do we think, do we write down, and do we bring to our journals? So when we're journaling, do we like to use prompts? And do we write about things that we've done in the past and how our memories are stimulated? So forget-me-not, what does it mean to you? What rhythms or stories have you heard about the forget-me-not? I often see one on Facebook where it says about the colour, the inner ring changing when the bees visited. I've yet to see it actually change after visit, because I have watched them quite closely to see if there is this change, and I don't think it's immediate. So I don't know if it's a change of temperature that happens within, or is there a chemical change when the pollen has gone with the bee, when the bee has collected that. But that's a memory that makes me think fondly of bees, but it also makes me think about some of the misinformation that we see on Facebook sometimes, and so I like to go and look it up. But think on what other things that you could use as a prompt when you're walking in the hedgerows and you see flowers that remind you of memories of your childhood, or maybe happy memories walking along with a member of your family. What do the sign of seeing, say, a dandelion, or, as I said to you on the stinging nettle one, I remember every time I see stinging nettles, I remember being butted by my grandmother's goat into a stinging nettle patch, which is why I always knew where the dock leaves were, because it didn't matter what happened, this goat always took great pleasure in tipping me in. But it's a fond memory in a way, because it reminds me of my carefree times as a child, spending time on my grandmother's small holding, and it always seemed to be summer. I can't remember it being winter although there's photographic proof that suggests that it was winter at some point. So I do ask you to walk with the hedgerows and walk with the forget-me-not and think about memories and how memories can help you with your self-care, and they can bring you moments of joy, moments of happiness, and help you move forward as well. Thank you for walking with me today in the merry month of May, Hedgerow Self-Care, and I look forward to walking with you again tomorrow. You can find all of my podcast material on my website, www.thedandelinemoon.co.uk.